I've been going crazy for the last week of my life because I decided to watch this movie. Look familiar? Ooh. It's Jennifer Lopez. Hold on. It's Jennifer Lopez starring in This Is Me, ... now, a love story. And I've seen it like 3 times. I don't even know where to start. I really don't know where to start with this. I guess right off the bat, I love it. I love it so much. It's a masterpiece. That being said, it's very bad. If you don't know J-Lo, you do, obviously. Maybe you know this song. I'll edit that in. Or this song. I'll edit something. That or that song. Maybe this song. J-Lo's controversial. People have a lot of thoughts on J-Lo. And I think J-Lo has a lot of thoughts on J-Lo. A couple months, weeks ago, I don't know actually. We'll go with weeks. Weeks, probably months, because it's a movie, right? I feel like it has to be months. A couple months ago, Jennifer Lopez released the trailer for her movie, and everyone on the internet went crazy because, what is that? And it just came out about maybe like a week ago now, and I watched it, and honestly, I think it ruined my life. There's no like one thing I can say about this movie. There's no like Instagram story I can make where I can be like, oh, LOL, here's a funny little, and then it's gone. It requires hours of your time and my time to really get into this and unpack what this movie. It's not even a movie. That's the thing. It's like something else. It would be better if it was just one thing, but it's not. It's just not. Even though I have my own thoughts about Jennifer Lopez and J-Lo, the brand, the artist, whatever, I went in, I watched it multiple times, and I felt like I really wanted to give her a fair shot. I mean, the first time I just was kind of like, okay, I'm just going to watch this as myself, my human self, like a normal person would, and I want to be as generous as possible. That got harder to do as it went on. So then I was like, okay, I have to watch it again, because I mean, I feel like I'm not giving her a fair shot. I don't want to be mean. So I tried to go in, and I was just thinking about Ben Affleck, and I was like, how would he approach the material? Like, if I have to read it in a way where I need to make very specific observations that are flattering and truthful for when she asks me later, what did you think? And I can't be like, it was good. Like, no, I have to break it down. I'm going to have to be serious if I'm Ben Affleck in that situation. So I tried to watch it that way, and that was kind of hard too, because at a certain point I was like, girl, if I was Ben Affleck, I wouldn't be in this relationship. I wouldn't have married her. But I'm not Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is Ben Affleck, and they're happy together. And that's the other thing. Spoiler alert. I love that. I hope they stay together forever, and I hope they're really happy. And also, J-Lo is like kind of awesome for making this, because it's so her. Like, it actually feels like real. I mean, it's not good, but it's real, and it means something, and it tells us more about her, kind of, but not in the ways she wanted it to. I'm also going to try to avoid using as much footage from the movie as physically humanely possible, because I'm studying IP, okay, in law school. I know what copyright is. I know what fair use is. I'm going to do that. But I also just I'm just going to avoid it. So I'm just going to sing all the songs.
I don't waste dream. Ah! Whoa, I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's just start with the beginning. You know what I mean? The movie starts out with a romantic Puerto Rican legend about two lovers who can't be together because they're from warring tribes. Also, it's like definitely AI generated, the intro and outro, which is unforgivable. So we've got this legend, and we've got these two Romeo and Juliet type lovers, and they can't be together, and then the dad is like, no, you can't marry him, and so she's like, God, please let me marry him. And then God turns her into a red rose, a flower or whatever, and then he's a hummingbird. That'll come up again, even though it shouldn't. It will. Also, the way the story comes up, and she's like, my mom always used to tell me, and this is a motif throughout the movie. She talks about her mom like a lot, but we never really learn anything about her relationship with her mom. Like, it always kind of comes up like casually. Like, there's one part where, well, I guess we'll wait. We'll get to the inner child stuff later. We're not going to touch that yet. But there's something going on there with her mom. Maybe I need to look into that. That's another thing actually about this experience, is that between all my watches of this movie, which have been many, I did like a deep dive on her whole life and became an expert in like her whole career and the Mariah Carey of it all and I wanted to understand really her relationship with Ben Affleck. And I'm pro them, I think. But then sometimes I'm like, am I like a victim? Am I like being gaslit into thinking J-Lo's an okay partner for someone to have? I don't know. In my head, okay, sorry, pause on the movie. In my head, what I think of her is like, she's definitely psychotic. Yes. She definitely works hard. Sure. Not like so extraordinarily talented. Aware of that, but also very high maintenance and very like narcissistic. That's the vibe I'm getting. But very like forthcoming about her being that way. So part of me is like, look, Ben Affleck, like, you know what you signed up for, Chief. Like, best of luck to you. Couldn't be me. But I also feel like if someone's crazy and they're like, hey, I'm crazy, and then you get with them and you know that, but then they're crazy to you, are you a victim? I don't know. We'll put a pin in that as well. So now we've got 2 pins. And now I'm going back to where we were. Okay, so where actually was I? Okay, yes. So she's a flower, he's a hummingbird. We'll get back to that. We've got a lot of things to get back to. Then we've got J-Lo and it's definitely Ben Affleck, but you can't see his face, but he's credited. It's him. I mean, and obviously it's him. And they're on like a motorcycle on like an ocean or something. I don't know. And she's like, oh, I love Ben Affleck and he's so hot and whatever. And then and then it's like, but not every love story is good or something. It's basically that. And then they flip off of the motorcycle for no reason. There was nothing even in it just, and then they stopped and then they broke up and they fly off the motorcycle. It's very artistic and they break up. Right. And so then what happens? They die. Then they die, I guess. Okay, sorry, I just had to glow up really quickly. What really happened was I went to go pee and then I looked in the mirror and I went, ah! And then I just kind of put my hair up. Sorry, making lots of noise. Okay, then what happens is Rex Stone, who's kind of like a Fox News type guy. It's Ben Affleck, that's also Ben Affleck. But he's in like, it doesn't look like him. He's like talking about, this world is so corrupt. This world is so corrupt and we've lost our whatever, right? And it's like a voiceover moment as we transition into what in my mind, the first thing I registered, the visual that I was seeing was the twerk factory, but it's actually her heart, I guess, is a machine. Okay, so then, all right, we're in this visual. It's artistic, you guys. You have to, come on. You have to see the vision. We're in her heart factory, twerk factory, and her heart is broken. And we go into, and J-Lo's reading a book in the break room. But this is like inside heart J-Lo. There's a lot of J-Los in this movie. It's like all J-Lo. There's not really any other characters. And if there are, she like really doesn't want you to like them. But you will. You'll like them. And you'll wish the movie was about them. So we're in the twerk factory and we get our first song. And isn't that so spectacular? And as a Bollywood kid, I was very pleased to finally get to the meat and juice. What was I going to say? The meat and bones? But you don't eat the bones. Whatever. I was excited to get to the first song, but then the song happened and I was like, oh, it was kind of a letdown. That one is called Hearts and Flowers. Okay, yeah, so that, I'll sing it for you guys. It goes, it ain't no hearts and flowers. It ain't no hearts and flowers. I know I'll do. And because her heart's breaking or whatever. And then there's a whole rap section where she says, I just wrote down, we be shining. We be shining. We be shining. She has a little moment.
Really, because it's the most honest album I ever did. And then to do this part of it, like half the time when you guys see it's 3.
Then do we meet Fat Joe? I think maybe we meet Fat Joe after that. Therapist Fat Joe. Okay, that's another thing that happens in this movie. Her therapist is Fat Joe. But it's less of therapy and it's more like an interview where you control everything that's happening. Like, it doesn't really seem like this therapist's goal is to offer therapy. It kind of just seems like he's there to be the interviewer and ask her questions that are like vulnerable-ish, and then she can answer and be like, I don't even get me. That is a real line, but she doesn't say it to her therapist. She says it to her Sound of Metal therapist. Hearts and Flowers. Do you guys mind if I eat an orange? Be cool. I'm gonna do it anyway. So then Hearts and Flowers song is like, oh, I just sprayed orange on myself. What the hell? I'm not kidding. That's my karma. That's what I get for not caring whatever. Okay, well, anyway, we're in the heart factory and her heart is breaking and it's like a big moment, but it's not. It should be a big moment, but it's not. It's like very underwhelming and I was very disappointed. I wanted to be like, let's go! Hearts and flowers! Oh yeah, but it's like hearts and flowers that's just not gonna work. Just from a purely business standpoint, it's not gonna work. Okay, so then we're in the heart factory, her heart's breaking, and then J-Lo in the heart goes on like this movie mission to get the last flower to the heart machine so that it can work, so she does that. It works, I guess. She sacrifices herself for the good of the ship, and the thing blows up and J-Lo in there dies. That'd be crazy. That's what should have happened. That's like thematically what should have happened, because they make it out to be some big sacrifice, which I guess it's like in J-Lo's head she's the one making a big sacrifice, which I'm like, girl, no one told you to be a pop star. You wanted that. Like, that's on you. That's not on me. I'm not grateful for that. Anyway, so that song happens, and then then she wakes up, and she's in, like, a hospital. Well, it looks like a hospital, but it's not a hospital. It's her bedroom. And then it's like a glass house, and she's watching TV. I think she's watching Ben Affleck on Fox News, or whatever that is. And then he starts drinking liquor in the hospital, and I'm like, girl, why are you drinking liquor in the hospital? You can't just be doing that. And then he's like spitting on the floor, and it's like abusive. Basically, J-Lo's in an abusive relationship now. I bet you feel bad. This is the best song of the whole movie. I can guarantee. It's Rebound, and it's so good. I love this one. Got me on that rebound, rebound, rebound. Catch me on that rebound, rebound. And it's really good. I like that one. It's the only good song in this whole goddamn cinematic movie experience from the heart and soul and ass of Jennifer Lopez. Anyway, sorry. So then they break up because he's abusive. Basically, her and Ben Affleck broke up. She's so sad. She has no choice but to jump into another relationship because she's a serial monogamist. But she doesn't like know that yet, I guess. She'll find out soon enough. And anyway, she's with this guy. So that's when she leaves and she's like, fuck Libras. And then her and her friend, who's like not really a character, so don't worry about her. Oh, I had one more thing to say about that song. I really like that song, and I like the way they use the rope. I think that's a very fun choice, a fun creative choice to show their relationship to each other. I'm sure someone else has already done it, and she just saw that and was like, I'm gonna do that. But I liked it. So, shout out to whoever did that first. Okay, so then we go to the Zodiac Council. That's another thing in this movie that happens, similar to the Fat Joe therapist. We kind of always come back to the Zodiac Council. I hate the Zodiac Council. It's the worst thing about this whole movie. And I say that as someone who's like, I love signs. I'm so obsessed with signs. Zodiac signs are like the reason I understand Jennifer Lopez, because I'm like, oh, I know you're kind. I know what you are. And she seems to embrace that. I mean, she literally wore a dress to her own premiere with all the zodiac signs and her own in the middle. And I'm just like, girl, please get a grip. I need you to get a grip. You're embarrassing me in front of Matt Damon. He wasn't there. There's no way he was there. Was he? So then we're with this fucking Zodiac Council, and I fucking hate this fucking Zodiac Council because all of the people who are doing all of the signs aren't the signs that they say they are, and it's just not, and they're not even acting like the signs that they say they are. There's like no attention to detail whatsoever. And it's like so typical Leo behavior of J-Lo to be like, yeah, I'm really into like zodiac signs. But then like the Zodiac Council is the most underdeveloped concept in the whole movie because it's like, I actually don't care about anything that doesn't have to do with me. Sorry, thanks. Which is low-key me when I'm on TikTok and I get one of those astrology TikToks and I just swipe through until something applies to me. But like, get a grip. That's all. Get a grip. Okay. Then what? Okay, so then we're with this Zodiac Council. Fuck them. I'm not gonna talk about them anymore. Then they're like, oh, she's such a mess. Oh, man. And so then real life J-Lo gets married 3 times. Just don't worry about anything that happened in between those. Don't worry about why she got married. Don't worry about who those people were. Don't worry about if she had kids. She did. They're not mentioned in this movie whatsoever. There's nothing. This whole movie is just about nothing. It's honestly about nothing. I would say it's about her and Ben Affleck, but it's not really, because I don't really know why she loves him so much other than we used to ride on the motorcycle together and I liked it. Or the other thing I got from this movie is J-Lo is very horny. She's like her libido is like out of control. She gets married 3 times. Then she's dating a guy who has a gun that I don't know what. And then her friends are like, we need to have an intervention for you because you're addicted to sex. And she's like, no, I'm not. And she's wearing like a cheetah print coat because that shows me that she is youthful. Oh, and then she gets a dog. She doesn't actually get a dog. She just has a dog at one point, and then later the dog is old. So don't worry about the dog. Then she's watching a movie. This is all. Don't put a movie in a movie. You guys have to watch this. It's crazy. Anyway, then she's in rehab. Or no, she's not. Then she goes to Love Addicts Anonymous because she gets a referral from fat therapist Joe. So then we're in the community rec center at Love Addicts Anonymous. J-Lo takes over in her sparkly Mary Janes with an interpretive dance routine. It's awkward to watch. The Sound of Metal guy does not participate in the dance, but he shows back up at the end. He's at like the snack table. So I don't know if he was just there the whole time. I don't know. It's not clear. But that song also sucks. That one's called Broken Like Me. And it's like a ballad. I'm not going to sing that one because it's like, I don't want to sing a song that sucks. And then that's also where she has the line where he's like, I get it. You think nobody gets you. And she goes, I don't even get me. I like that. I like when that happens in the movie because I'm like, you crazy lady. You're so crazy. So then she's in a gown and she's burning. So cut to, we're in her house. She's in a wet dress and she's sitting by her fireplace and her name is all over the floors. It's like the house in her mind, I guess, like what her life feels like. And she's burning Ben Affleck's love letters, which I'm like, why? Why would you do that? And the love letters also like so weird. I'm like, this doesn't really tell me anything, but I also don't want to know anything, and I just wish it was over. And the hummingbird is there, and the hummingbird's trying to get in, and the dog starts barking, and it sounds comedic, but it's not. It's boring. And then the hummingbird just leaves, because that's the motif, is the hummingbird's trying to find the flower. The hummingbird is Ben Affleck, and the flower is J-Lo. And I guess all the other girls that I don't know what the kind of flower Jennifer Garner is. We don't need to talk about her right now. She should just be left alone. Oh, but you know what? Actually, when she's sitting there in the wet dress, it's a pink dress. And I just feel like it should be red, right? Because she's the red the red flower in her own. Why is it pink? Why is it pink? So then she's with her fat therapist. She dreams about being in the Bronx again. And then now we have This Is Me Now, the titular song. Okay, so this is actually a big part. This is actually important. So, in case you were wondering, the answer is healing your inner child. That's how J-Lo wins the game. She has to find her inner child and heal it. And it happens. It's super easy. We never really see like what that means, but it's healed. She's good. Everything's fine. She just kind of has to give herself a hug, which I feel like the last thing she needs is a bigger ego, but what do I know? I'm no Zodiac Council. So she has her big moment with her child self where she's like, oh, I love you. I love you. She also mentions her mom again here, where she's like, little girl version of her is like, oh, I'm sad. She's like covered in cuts and bruises, which to me, I was like, oh my God, like J-Lo was abused. But then it's like, no, I don't get enough love. And she's like, and so then grown up J-Lo goes, from mom and dad. And little J-Lo goes, no, you. Which I'm like, girl, what? But also like, what an unnecessary shot at your mom and dad. Like, you just didn't need that part in there if she was going to be like, no, actually it wasn't them. You just don't have to, you didn't have to even bring them up. You could have just left them alone. And she brings them up a lot. Also, seeing a little kid on screen reminded me that J-Lo has kids at this point in her life, but they're just not a part of the narrative whatsoever. They have nothing to do with her healing her inner child. They have nothing to do with her discovering other forms of love. Like, they're just not a part of... They just don't matter. It's not important. There's a different movie for them. Just kidding. Of course not. So then she's like super happy because she like healed her child self or whatever. And then her one friend who's like kind of a hater gets married, but like, don't worry, he didn't matter. None of it mattered. He gets married. Also, I thought he was gay, but whatever. He gets married to a girl. Okay. Looks like, I don't know. Then J-Lo has a song, and she's also wearing like the most J-Lo gown. It's like classic you to make this wedding about you. It's not about you. She also goes to one event single, and she's like, I spent time alone and I discovered who I am. I'm like, girl, no, you did not. So then she goes to this wedding, someone else's wedding, and then she goes to therapy again, and then she goes outside in the rain, and she has like her singing in the rain moment where she's like dancing with the hummingbird, and it's like, okay. She gets a sign from God that Ben Affleck is coming back. Watch out. And then she starts dancing, and I'm just like, girl, you're gonna get pneumonia. Or I'm gonna get pneumonia. I don't know. I just don't want to see that. So then a hint of Ben Affleck appears. So it's like, oh, she found her hummingbird, and Ben Affleck came back. And then it's over. The movie just ends. I was pissed. I was so upset. Now you get why I watched it 3 times. The movie ends and it's like, okay, and then Ben Affleck and I basically got back together. But like, that was so dumb. So then that's the movie. And then there's like then you have another AI outro. And then there's like a clip of Ben Affleck as this Rex Stone character. Talking about getting oysters at the hotel bar or something. And it's like, don't let the love in your heart die. That's kind of like the final message of the movie. And I loved it. I mean, look, was it a good movie? No. Let's just get that out of the way. But that's not really the question, that's not really the kind of questions I'm concerned with. I'm not thinking about if a movie is good or bad. It's not about that. It's so much more than that. And this movie in particular, it was so brave. J-Lo really didn't have to do that. She said it herself, right? She said, I don't have to or wait, what did she say? I don't want to do this, I have to. Or no, I don't have to do this, I want to. I don't know, something. Doesn't mean anything to me either way. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I actually think more celebrities should do what J-Lo is doing. In that they should just be completely, totally themselves. They should invest their own money and give me your heart's story, and I will make fun of it if it sucks or whatever. But either way, I'm gonna watch it. And like, J-Lo, like, thank you for showing me who you are. I mean, I had fun, I think. Ben Affleck, though, is a even bigger question to me than he was before, because I just can't wrap my head around how you marry J-Lo. And I don't know.
Is all the attention Jennifer Lopez gets, does that bother? Is there rivalries, by the way, in this business?
There are rivalries, but I don't think she has anything to do with me. I mean, my whole thing is singing, writing
She's
songs.
an actress.
Yeah, and I've been doing this, my whole life. Singing is first and foremost. It's a God-given talent that I'm grateful for. Her thing is something different.